Hi, I'm Chris Stirewalt, and this is Power Play. Now, we've been telling you for a while that one of the hottest Senate races in the 2016 cycle is going to be in Florida because, well, duh, it's Florida, an evenly divided state with a lot of media markets and, well, let's face it, crazy politics. It's the race to replace Senator Marco Rubio, who is given up on the prospect of a second term to mount his presidential campaign, and it has turned into a real scrum. One of those in the scrum is Carlos Lopez-Cantera. He is the lieutenant governor of the great state of Florida and a former legislative colleague of Senator Rubio. Welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first of all, you have to be a little crazy to want to get into a Senate race in Florida, right? They're always nuts. What's behind your decision? Why did you say this was the right move for you?
Well, you know, I'm like a growing number of citizens in our country who's just had enough of what's been happening in Washington, D.C. There's too many people there, with few exceptions, that point fingers at problems, yell about problems, demagogue problems, but don't solve any problems. I've been here in Florida practicing what others only preach. I've been here in Florida actually writing tax cut bills. I've been here in Florida balancing budgets, paying down state debt, reforming the regulatory system, making government more efficient. We have the most efficient state government in the entire country. I've been here doing what others only talk about. And the reason I'm running for the United States Senate is because I believe the next senator from Florida should be somebody who's not part of the Washington, D.C. culture or establishment or machine, but somebody who's been actually doing things here on the ground in Florida. And here, we're an example for the rest of the country. We've added 917,000 jobs. Our unemployment rate has dropped to 5.4%. And there are more and more opportunities every day here in Florida. And more people are moving to Florida every day because of the policies we've implemented here.
So I noticed Washington appeared there a couple times as you were talking about why and not wanting to be somebody from Washington. I noticed that everybody else who in both parties who's either running or talking about running is a member of Congress. Now, on the Republican side, we have the prospects of an intense primary fight. We've heard from Congressman David Jolly, Congressman Ron DeSantis about potential runs that they are casting you, or their supporters casting you as an establishment figure. Are you Mr. Establishment in this race?
Well, considering that most of the groups that get involved in these races out of D.C. are helping one or both of them, I would say that they are the establishment candidates. I'm just the Florida candidate. I'm the one who's been here on the ground making things happen and actually has a record to show it. I can actually print out legislation that I've drafted and passed that has cut taxes, has cut regulation. I challenge anybody else in this race on either side to be able to do that. The reason I'm running is not because I want to be part of DC, but because I believe that we need more of what we've shown is successful here in Florida, in Washington, D.C. And I believe I'm the most electable Republican candidate. I've won a countywide race here in the largest county in the state as a Republican. I ran last year a statewide campaign as the running mate with Governor Scott, and we beat Charlie Crist. So I've already run a statewide campaign. I know what this state really looks like on the ground. I've driven it back and forth several times. And I believe that that's what we need in Washington. We don't need more Washington. The only way we're going to fix all the problems, and there are a lot of problems in Washington, is by stop sending people who are from there to there.
Now, on the aside from praying that the Democrats have a equally or greater tumult in their primary, and certainly that's a possibility as we talk about their side. The Democrats certainly seem to be headed that way. Talk to me about the scope of this election. This is going to be a pretty bruising election, and it's going to take place when Florida is very much on the line in a presidential contest. How's this work?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Florida is probably be the epicenter of the presidential race because it is such an important state with its electoral votes for the presidential election. Republicans need to win Florida in order to win the White House. And I think we're on a good pace to achieve that. But there's also an open United States Senate seat here, and this Senate seat could determine the majority for the Republicans in the United States Senate, and that's very important as well. I mean, it would kind of defeat the purpose a little bit if a Republican president is elected and he has to negotiate with the Majority Leader Schumer.
All right, now before I let you go, I got to ask you. I looked around, I scoured, and I even asked our own Miami expert, Serafin Gomez, one of our top politics guys, whether or not you were going to endorse in the Republican presidential primary contest. He said no way. What's the answer? Are you gonna pick a horse? You got Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio, both Floridians in the race. Are you going to do anything about that?
Well, Finn's a great guy, and you guys are lucky to have him on your team.
That's true.
I am supporting Marco Rubio for president. I'm excited about what he's talking about for the future of our country. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Governor Bush. I think he's a great leader in our and has been a leader here in our state and our party. The good thing is I'm pretty confident that the next president of the United States will be a Floridian.
There you go. Well put. Well put. Mr. Lieutenant Governor, we thank you for your time. Best of luck out on the campaign trail, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much, Chris. Have a great afternoon.
You bet. And you, Internet, thank you for stopping by. We'll continue to introduce you from candidates from both parties around the country as we go, and stop back by for some more Power Play real soon.